Oh, good. You're still there. It's Pat and JT. Our Monday morning live Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Right before we started recording, Jill's like, "Hey, if I'm not here when you come back, it's because I'm not getting Jack." So I'm glad Jack didn't get in trouble in the backyard. You had to go save him or something.
I'm waiting for. I put him out. He's walking by the window right now. He's just out with his nose in the grass, just wandering around. But he had to go outside. He was walking around, mouth breathing at me, staring at me, and then he'd look at the back door, and then he'd look back at me, mouth breathe some more. I'm like, oh my God! All right, so let's go outside. So he's out. He's just walking around, doing his thing. But the first time he barks, I got to stop because I got to get him in.
Okay.
So fair warning. I had to let him out though because I'm like, dude, if you got to pee, I get it.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. And now he probably peed, and now he's going to go sniff something.
He's just sniffing things now.
So now I kind of feel like right now this week, next 2 weeks here at the office, they're redoing the bathrooms up here. So we have to go downstairs to the second floor or first floor to go to the bathroom.
So for you, nothing new.
Well, okay, it is something new for one, because I always go one up here. Now it's like I feel like Jack, like I got to hold it for as long as I can, and then go down to 1 or 2 to do my one.
Do you do 1-on-1 and 2-on-2? I'm just curious.
No, there's not a pattern. It just kind of happens. But I know I always do 1-on-3, which is our floor, and now I can't.
You can't.
Yeah,
you can't. It's kind of cool though, getting the bathrooms done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that. That'll be nice. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's supposed to be kind of like jackhammery.
Yeah.
For a couple of days this week, or 3 days, or 4.
It hasn't started yet, so I'm just anticipating as soon as we get into this, just
yeah, because it's right behind you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's right there.
Right there.
Yep.
Oh my God. All right. So, weekend. Anything big going on this weekend?
I got a funny story. Well, funny story. It's funny and sad. I don't know if it's more sad. But I thought it was sad on Saturday. Then I flipped the script on Sunday, and it's not sad anymore. So I think we talked about this last week, the app for cats, and you've had it before, the app for cats where birds fly across, fish swim across, mice run around, and they look at the iPad. And
snails or worms or ants, birds, fish, mice. Yeah. And then they try and put their paws on them and stop it.
Hilarious.
Yeah. It's so fun.
We found one that mixes all those together, and like even feathers come down from the top and up. And we thought the cats, like they wouldn't like it. They get bored. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, they love it. So here's a video. I was going to put it in here, but see if you can see this.
Here we go. Technology at its finest.
See, they're looking.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Back. I hate the mirror image. There we go.
There you go.
Anyway, so you guys get the idea. The cats were infatuated with it. We stopped after like 20 minutes because like they were just
their screen time was too long or what?
Well, okay, so that's what I flipped it around on Sunday, and I realized it stimulates their brain. It's not they're not like checking out. It's like they're playing.
I've told you about dog TV and my cats. You should get it because then you can just turn it on and have a TV screen on it. Both of the cats. I mean, it's just like one of them will run up to the TV and look behind it. Because she saw something go off the side, but she'll just sit there. The one in particular, Bella, she just sits there and just stares at it, just watches. And it has one where there's like the giant ants on like a red and white squared picnic table. It's a cartoon, and little ants are climbing around and they're going back and forth. And then there's real dogs, that run across. And she's like, whoa, but
it started. Can you hear the jackhammering?
What's that?
The jackhammering just started right now. Can you
hear
it?
Really?
Yeah, like literally right now. They heard me. They're watching the live, and like we're gonna screw with them. If you can't hear it, I'm good.
Let me see. I can kind of. I can.
So funny. That is hilarious. What timing? Anyway, yeah. So it's fun to watch them do that. To like look behind this, like
behind the screen. It's like when they see. There was a great TikTok the other day. Some horse people I follow. But they had a mirror, and the horse saw himself for the first time. Like saw them, and it was like what? And and he kind of like walked up to it, and it's so weird how sometimes animals see, if they see a mirror, they don't pay any attention. It's like they can't see it, like they're vampires or something. But when they notice themselves, or when you see the cat, there's the one I think that the cat that sees himself in the mirror and then stands up straight, and backs away from it, like what?
Why you crossed that mirror 1,500 times? Why this time did it put you in a twist?
Or they see their ears. And then they lift up real slowly, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
there's a cat over there. It's cool. It's
So
funny.
when it was going on, it was super cute. I'm thinking TBT to setting the kids in front of the TV and watching Paw Patrol when they were little. So I'm sitting there holding an iPad and the cats are right there. So it's the same vibe. But after we were done and I picked the iPad up off the ground,
Yeah.
here's a picture. So if you're watching this, you can see this. If not,
Okay.
yeah, there's Addie after I took the iPad away.
Uh-oh.
Staring. Yeah. This is Addie 10 minutes after that picture was taken, still looking for the iPad.
Where are the mice?
She's on top of the mantle or the hearth or whatever, looking down where the iPad was. The next morning, both of them were there looking for it because they're like,
You ruined them.
yeah, that's what I mean. And then Addie looked up at me in disgust. She's like, dude, where did they go? So they were in there the next morning looking in the exact same spot. So that's what made me feel kind of bad. But then
you put it back, didn't you? Did you give them the iPad back?
Yeah, that's when I put up on the couch and set it next to me. Because they don't spend a lot of time with me anyway. It's mostly their mama's cats. And
so this is like steak in your pocket.
Yes. Yes. this is the equivalent of steak in my pocket. I'm gonna get some cat time now.
There you go. You finally figured it out.
I'm fine.
You will like me.
That's right. Hey, it worked. It worked.
That is awesome. All right, let's see here. News over the weekend, things that happened. There were a couple of stories that went down. One of the biggies was Brooklyn Beckham got married. And I typically, this wouldn't even slightly tickle my interest meter at all. But the only reason I saw it and I was like, what? Wait, how old is he? He's 23. And he's been with, he probably would have been married, they said 2 years ago, if COVID hadn't happened. They've been engaged for a little over 2 years. But so 2021, when he got engaged, and she's 29, I think, or 28, something. I don't know. She's older, maybe 26, 29, something, but she's older than him. But the real kicker is not so much that she's older than him, but that her parents, she's the daughter of a billionaire. So, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. You wouldn't expect anything less.
No.
So they had quite the wedding, I guess. And then they had entertainment. They had, everything was fantastic, beautiful. I mean, and the guest list was unbelievable. And apparently, though, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle didn't make the cut. That's what got my interest.
Were they tight with the Beckham? I mean, they're from the same place, but were they tight?
Well, his brother is. Will and Kate got invited.
Oh.
But Harry and Meghan didn't. And Will and Kate couldn't make it because they had other obligations. And I'm sure also they probably, but actually, I could see them actually going to a wedding. They're a little different. I think there was a story about them last week talking about, or a couple weeks ago, but anyway, talking about how they spend a lot of time in the kitchen with their kids, just, and the kids making cookies and the kids doing things. And apparently grandma's not a real fan of that because the staff should be doing that, that kind of stuff. But Will,
I agree with grandma, kind of. It's like, you got a staff.
But Will had, apparently, there was a story about him and his brother spending a lot of time in the kitchen with his mom, with Diana. So it's kind of a family tradition kind of thing, but it's kind of cool. So they're a little more like the normies.
I could see not wanting drama at the wedding, and if they were gonna, it probably was just like a courtesy invite, knowing they weren't going to come. Throw the invite out. But if they did actually come, and they invited Meghan and whoever, and what's his name?
They got Will and Kate.
Will and Kate and Meghan and Charlie? No.
Oh my God. Will and Kate, but not Harry and Meghan.
Right. So, but if Harry and Meghan actually showed up, if they did get invited, then there could have been drama. So I just think they just didn't invite them because they don't really care.
Could be. It's hard to say. But other people there, Mel C, of course, was there. Serena and Venus Williams were there. Jordana Brewster, Gordon Ramsay, Eva Longoria was there. Mark Anthony was the performance.
Wow.
He did 4 songs.
My gosh.
I'm like, what? What? And then they had a stage that rotated. Apparently he was on it and sang and yay. And then David gave a speech about something and hoo-ha. Yeah. So they got married. So anyway, but yeah, it was the whole snub that got my attention. I was like, oh, drama. Okay.
When I see these kind of weddings, these really high profile weddings, I always like seeing the people that they invite, the randomness of the celebrities that are in their circle, like Gordon Ramsay, Eva Longoria. Like, it's just so random.
And I wonder though, how many are friends of their parents? Because that's kind of part of the guest list thing, right?
Right.
Friends of their parents that show up because obviously the kid's 23.
Yeah.
Um,
That's kind of what
but
I would assume with those, that it was
mostly,
like on the parents' guest list. But even that is still weird that
right?
the circle that they hang out with the Beckhams, it's just such a weird circle.
I think Megan and Harry were kind of miffed because they had invited David and what's her bucket, and they went to Megan and Harry's wedding, but they didn't get the return invite to their kids' wedding.
Isn't that something when with weddings that's why some parents keep track
Mhm.
of who came? Because if you get an invitation, then you need to make sure you go or get a present for them. And then if you
Mhm.
don't get an invitation, then you can be pissed and throw shade.
Yeah. Yeah, some people do keep track.
Yeah. I think more people that I would never keep track, but I think more people do than don't keep track. And I didn't know that was even a thing, really.
Well, I think it kinda is it kinda like Christmas cards? Like, if somebody sends you a card, you kinda have to send a card back, back in
Yeah.
the day. I don't even do a lot of people still send Christmas cards? Do you
I
guys do Christmas
don't
cards?
know.
I
No.
don't. I've felt bad because I've never done Christmas cards, and I certainly appreciate the ones I get, but I just don't send them
Like
out.
you're on Facebook or Twitter, whatever. People know what's been going on. They know what your family looks like. Why sit in front
Yeah.
of a tree and take a picture and send it out when
Although
nobody?
I like the pictures, but yeah, put them on Facebook.
Yeah. Just put it
But
on
then
Facebook.
the idea of getting mail, actual real mail, that's kinda cool though too. Oh, Denise said she sends Christmas cards.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
I'm sure a lot of
And
people do, but yeah, we don't get a
I
lot.
don't I don't anymore. I don't, but I think that's kinda along that same lines are also graduation parties about, if you have kids, if you get invited to a graduation party, I don't know if you're returning the favor or do unto others for weddings and graduations, honestly. It's like, "Oh god, they invited us, now we have to invite them." It's like,
So right, no, that's to me that just seems so petty, but it's true. It's true because it's looked at as an insult if you don't.
if you don't.
I'm not going to out her, but somebody at the office, their family hosted a wedding a couple weeks ago at their house, and
Okay.
someone, part of the family, lost all of the cards that were given. Like, can't find the cards. Like the people lost them, like 80 of them.
So
Can't find.
so it's all the cards that had and probably written on each one of them was what they gave
Uh,
to the
well,
because usually the bride, the maid of honor sits there with the cards and writes on the card what gift they gave.
oh, this was before they even did that. This was the night of the
Like,
wedding.
just the cards, not the
Just
gifts.
the
So it was
card.
somebody who gave all the money?
Yes, so it'd be somebody who dropped off a card, probably with a check in it or something, and they hadn't opened it 'cause the wedding. It was still the day of
So
the
it's
wedding.
those cards.
Those
Oh my
cards.
god. Where would it be?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't followed up to see if the card drama has
Wow.
out.
I feel bad right now because I'm looking at all these people writing in saying that they send Christmas cards. Shannon does, Laura does. I send cards. Oh, it says I send cards every 10 years, whether I need it or not.
Perfect.
Um,
See, that's perfect.
I'm still alive. Here's a card. And you're right. Denise said real mail is fun, which I agree with you. It's fun when you get something that's not a bill, right? And then because that's about the only I get that in junk. But she says also I have some relatives, older relatives that aren't on Facebook. So that makes sense. I
Yeah.
get that. I get that. Okay, totally. All right. So here's a fun story. Guy in Connecticut ends up finding in an abandoned barn all this artwork. And so Jared is his name, Jared Whipple. He's a mechanic in Connecticut. Yep, Jared. And apparently, a contractor was going to tear down the barn, but he saw all this stuff. They were going to do something else with this barn, but then they're like, there's stuff in here. So Jared went out and he got all this dirt covered pieces that had been put outside. Some were even put in a dumpster, and all this stuff was from that barn. And then he later finds out that they're actually, because he sees there's names on this of who did what. Francis Hines apparently was an abstract expressionist who
Okay.
died at 96 in 2016. That's where he stored all his artwork. Okay. Crazy part is they go to sell this stuff, hundreds of pieces, mind you, hundreds. Um, and most of them were sold at about 22,000 a piece.
What?
Yes, because they're called wrapped paintings. He was known for this. Fabric is wrapped around an object, and the art's kind of been compared to some pretty big names in the art world.
Never
And
heard of that style ever.
right, he's wrapped buildings like Washington Square Arch, JFK Airport, da 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 da. He's done all this fancy fancy stuff. But anyway, those pieces again got him millions of dollars.
Wow.
When he went to sell them, because if you add it up, if you just take 22,000 and say, and he said hundreds of pieces on average at 22,000 a piece, just take 100 times 22,000 and see what you get.
That's 22 million.
Just, I'm gonna make you use your calculator.
Oh, there's no other way.
Right?
22,000
Mm-hmm.
times
100.
Yeah, 2.2 million.
That's 100, and he said there are hundreds
Jeez.
of them.
That's what my dad's looking for. My dad goes to all these sales and old houses and stuff. That's the honey hole my dad's looking for. He'll get like a decoy that it's from like the 17 whatevers, and it's like, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be a moneymaker. Yeah, and then it's not.
And
or
then
it is, but nothing like that. Like, it's worth money, but nothing like that.
Crazy. I told you mom and dad have been cleaning out a storage area that they had, a garage. And so we're kind of going through things. There's some furniture in there, and opened up some of the drawers on it, and there's stuff in there.
Ooh.
Like from a long time ago. And one drawer was full of all these gag gifts. I mean, like, just and not opened. Like, there's all these gag gifts that were bought, probably like $1.50 a piece at the time. And so I'm still going through that stuff. So I'll go through it and I'll tell you what I find in there. But one thing that we did come across was a gun that had on the side of it, I think, Ivor Johnson Arms and Cycle Works, and it's called a Champion. And so I looked it up, and that particular model, Ivor Johnson, if it says what I say, Cycle and Arms, if it says that on it, that was a real particular piece of time that when those were made. That was like the 1900 to 1910 is when those were made.
Money, maybe.
Not worth a dime.
Well,
it's worth a little bit. I looked it up. It's worth some money, but
that's what sucks about that. Like, you go down with a wormhole and you look at it and it's like, oh, that was from a specific time. That was from this time. People get all excited and goes, it's worth $4.53.
It's worth a couple bucks, but it's like, it's not that.
Yeah, not Whipple money.
No, it's not Whipple money. It's not. So
not Whipple money.
Anyway, I got to go through the rest of this stuff because there's a lot of old things. There's some stuff of mine, and we opened up one drawer and it had clothes in it. Oh my God, these have got to be, I don't even know how old these things are. But there were a couple of pairs of jeans that were in there and some other things that not going to be worn again. But there are people
some money though. Seriously.
Yep. So I brought them home, watched them, and nothing fell apart. So I'm like, okay, we got the first part. Now we got to see if there's anybody looking for stuff like this. But anyway, yeah, going through that stuff is just crazy.
Yeah.
But like your dad, yes, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, there's got to be something in here.
It has to be, and it's always the weirdest thing that you wouldn't think of, like a duck thing, or it's like a little pencil is worth thousands, and you would never ever, like American Pickers. I don't, that show.
Yeah,
I love that show. But it's
that's why I'm hoping with these gifts, the things that aren't opened. There's a damn Cabbage Patch doll in there that was unopened, and she's not. No.
Googled it.
I looked it up. It's not. She's not. Yeah, there are some that are worth a lot. There are others that, it had to be, because it had to be the Cabbage Patch doll, not with the plastic heads. They had some that were like a fabric head, and then they had the signature of the guy who created them on their backside.
Yeah.
And so, if the signature's in blue, it's worth this much. If it's worth in red, it's worth this. Oh my God,
it's like this is too much.
It wasn't her.
Right.
So.
It wasn't what it was supposed to be.
It wasn't at all. It wasn't at all. And then finally, it looks like those crazy kids got engaged this weekend, or at least last week. J-Lo and Ben Affleck.
That ring, I've never seen a light green ring or whatever. Ever. I know it's rare, but I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, apparently he had always known green was her favorite color.
Yeah.
So there we go. So she got the ring, and
beautiful.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And she's obviously a super smart woman. When the announcement was it Friday or Saturday, it came out that she was engaged. She, on her Instagram, she had a video, and it drove people to her website to sign up for her J-Lo.
On the J-Lo, right?
On the J-Lo, it was free to sign up, and then you could get more information on everything. It's genius.
I signed up.
Yeah, we almost did. We didn't.
I did. I'm like, okay, bring it.
I'm here for it.
And then she had that song that she put out. Did you see the song?
No.
Yeah, check out the song. And it's a video of her and him, like from days gone by to this, whatever. Oh, one other thing about the green. She said the color green, it's not like it's her favorite color. It's that she's realized that some of the most special things have happened to her when she is wearing green. You might remember a certain dress.
Yes, the booby dress. Yep.
The
I remember
booby
that.
dress.
Or whatever it was. It was like the
it just had one button.
Yeah. Yep. I was actually thinking of that when you said green. I couldn't remember if it was blue or green, but yeah, it makes sense. It was green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so. So anyway, other than that, there were some rando stories. Like I'm thinking Dancing with the Stars is moving to Disney Plus. Sorry, Tyra.
Yeah. Sorry, Tyra. I haven't watched that show. I haven't watched the show for so long.
I haven't either.
Even
That's probably why it's going to Disney Plus.
Right. Even before Bergeron got let go, I didn't watch the show very much at all.
I know. And I felt, and he would have been the only reason that I would have tuned in.
Yeah.
A couple people, that dress, the boogie dress.
Oh.
That's funny. And Courtney Stodden apparently is still blocked by Chrissy Teigen. So I saw that this weekend also.
Courtney Stodden, Black. Oh, okay, got it. I was thinking
Courtney Stodden.
I was thinking Courtney Kardashian. I was Stodden. Okay.
Oh, got it. Yeah. So I can't remember. I think there was something about. Remember when Teigen was posting things like "I wish you'd die" or DMing her things like that when she was like 16.
Yeah.
I think that was the deal.
Yeah, it was disgusting stuff.
How does she get to keep her account? I wish you'd die. Okay, you're good.
Yeah, you're fine. No, you're totally fine. You're good.
And other than that, that's kind of the stuff, I guess. Really, I don't know. Do you have any others?
I don't think that was it. It was just kind of a cat weekend. Yeah, just it was just a chill, laid back weekend.
Yeah. Easter weekend coming up this week.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Sunday's Easter.
And
Good Friday and Friday.
Birthday is on Easter. That's her birthday also.
Whose?
So, Sophia's. 17 freaking teen on Sunday.
Oh
Crazy.
My God.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that? Wow.
I have an anxiety attack. I won't have any more of an anxiety attack than I did when she was 16. So we're parties on Saturday, and then Sunday she'll hang out with her friends, or we do Easter stuff and then go hang out with her friends for her birthday. Because we are not pretending that she's going to want to stick around the house and hang out on her birthday. She's going to be gone. So what we have done is we have hired painters for Sunday. So. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, they were open and wanted to work, and so it's a big, huge area. And I know my wife, and I know she would climb a little ladder and rolly, and it's super high ceilings. So I just need to just get it done. It'll be done in a day, and instead of dragging it out,
it is so worth it.
Yeah.
So worth it. And it's like just get out of their way, and it's done. Yep. And you're painting the ceiling though too?
I don't think so. No, just the walls, high walls.
Okay. No, it's so worth it to do that, because by the time you get all the crap. And they can move furniture so easy.
Yeah, right. I know. So easy. If it's not us, anything's easy.
Anything's easy if it's not us.
And then she messaged me this morning, and she's like, "I feel bad. Are we jerks for having painters on Sophia's birthday at 8 a.m? I'm like, "No, we're more jerks for asking painters to work on Easter than waking Soph up at 8 o'clock."
They could have said no.
Right? they offered it up. We're like, "Sure, that's totally cool."
That's fine. Probably not a lot of people realize that they could get the painters on Sunday.
Right?
See?
We shoot our shot.
So while you're at church, they can paint, right?
Right. Yep. No, we got to stay at home to monitor.
Watch out for the Easter bunny.
Yeah. Right.
That's cool. Oh, Denise said, "Love when my birthday's on Easter." So she must be about this time of year too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. Very cool. All right, guys. Well, good enough.
Well, thank you guys if you're watching. Thank you on YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter. If you were not, then you need to watch Fridays and Mondays. We do lives like this. So I want to thank Centris also for being our podcast friends.
They are.
Very much so. And also you can find our podcast everywhere you find podcasts. Thanks for listening.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Huda Media Production.